dealing with the first chapter, that is Introduction to Economics. And in the first class I have dealt about two important topics, and in the second class I have discussed about wealth definition and welfare definition. And now we are going to discuss third definition, which is scarcity definition. Okay, it is scarcity definition. This definition is given by Lionel Robbins. Okay, who is the person who gave us scarcity definition? He is Lionel Robbins. Okay, so welfare definition was given in the year 1970s. Okay, and from then in 1932 again Lionel Robbins gave this scarcity definition. Okay, so up to 1932 welfare definition was important. Okay, it gained its importance till 1932. What happened after 1932? After 1932, in the year 1932, Lionel Robbins gave scarcity definition. This is very important definition, and it has gained much importance, and it is termed as a universally accepted definition because he dealt with each and every problem of economics. Okay, let's see what is the definition given by Lionel Robbins here. I have dealt in the first class itself what is the three points which I have discussed. Wants are unlimited. Wants are unlimited. Resources are limited. Resources are limited, and resources which satisfy our wants have alternative uses. Okay, it has alternative uses. Okay, this is the topic, this is the discussion made by Lionel Robbins in scarcity definition. He is saying that there may be many wants, okay, but the resources which we will satisfy these wants are only limited. So, and not only they are limited, but they can be kept into alternative uses. What are those alternative uses? See, for example, I have a certain piece of land, okay. So, that piece of land, I can use it for producing wheat, or I can establish a factory there and I can produce some other thing, okay. So, I have alternative uses with those resources. Resources means not only money, but there are wide varieties. Let it be machinery, man, money, or land. Okay, so let it be anything, but resources will have alternative uses. Who said this, ma'am? Lionel Robbins said this. Okay, in his scarcity definition in the year 1932, he said wants are unlimited, resources are limited, and resources have alternative uses. And here also comes choice problem. What is choice problem? Choice problem means, I have already said, taking 1000 rupees in my example, I have different wants. Okay, so I said I want to purchase a dress, I want to gift my friend, I want to purchase certain books, or I want to give a party. Okay, but if I would have 10,000 rupees, I would have satisfied all my wants, but I don't have enough resources. My resources are limited, but my wants are unlimited. So they can be kept into alternative uses, right? I can do this or this or this or this, but I can't do all the things at a time. So here one important thing is, see, if I have examination in the next month or next week, then I'll go and I'll purchase books. That is choice problem. Okay. So why I am choosing this book? Because I have examination. So it depends on how I satisfy my want, depends on my preferences. Okay. If there is a birthday, then I'll go for purchasing dress. Or if I have anything, if I have my friend's birthday, then I'll go and I'll purchase a gift for my friend. So it depends upon my preference, my choice. Okay. So these are the most important concepts in throughout economics, and these concepts are given by Leonard Robbins in the year 1932, and his book name is An Essay on the Nature and Significance of Economics. Okay, the nature and significance of economics. This is his book name, Scarcity Definition. Okay, but as you all know, every definition has its own criticisms, right? So what are the criticisms? Ma'am, you said that it is universally accepted definition. Yes, it is universal. It has its own importance, although there are certain criticisms. Okay, what are those criticisms? See, 1 minute. Its book name is, if you want you can write, An Essay on the Nature and Significance of Economic Sciences. Okay, in the year 1932, and it has its own importance because it has included all the human activities. You know, in welfare definition, Marshall said that in economics we include only the human activities which provide human welfare. If they are not providing human welfare, then they are not included in economics. As per the definition of Alfred Marshall, what he said, if I am doing certain activity and if it will provide welfare only, then I am including it in the subject of economics. But see, that was a criticism in welfare definition. So Robbins said that no, economics should include every human activity, whether it is providing welfare or not, it should be included in economics. Yesterday I have even told an example. See, small amount of alcohol for a Singareni employee, or if to a person, if doctor suggests, then it will provide welfare to that person. But for some other person, it is not providing any welfare. That means that amount of alcohol is providing welfare to some person and it is not providing to some person. So in Marshall definition, it is included only if it provides welfare. But here in Robbins definition, whether a human activity is providing welfare or not, that should be included in economics. So it is known as universally accepted definition. Okay, next, economics in Robbins definition. See, definition of economics is neutral between ends. Very important concept. What is that? It is neutral between ends. Neutral between ends. What is this? And you already know what do you mean by ends. Ends means wants. Okay. Economics is neutral between wants or neutral between ends. Here comes the concept. What is that? Positive signs or normative signs. Very important from examination point of view. Positive economics and normative economics. See, listen clearly what is positive economics and what is normative economics. See, positive, a word itself says that everything should be taught. Everything should be taught in a positive way. Okay, we should think everything in a positive way only. What does that mean? See, if I am producing a knife. See, if I am producing a knife, then it can be used for cutting vegetables, for chopping vegetables, or I can use that knife to murder someone. Okay, I can use this knife for cutting vegetables or for harming someone or for murdering someone. Okay, so what does that mean? That is, I am positive. I am producing knives only. I am not saying use only for cutting vegetables and don't use to murder or don't use to harm someone. I am neutral. Okay, these are my wants, but I am neutral. I am not saying anything. See, I am producing just knives. I am not saying please use it only for cutting vegetables and don't use this. Don't use for harming others. I am neutral between the ends. Okay, so positive signs means I am neutral between ends. I am not saying what to do and what not to do. Okay, so positive signs sign says what it is. And whereas normative science means I am saying, see, I am producing knife and I am saying please use it only for cutting vegetables and don't use it for some other things. That means what ought to be, I am saying how it should be also. Okay. So in positive science I am not saying anything. I am neutral. Okay, so Lionel Robbins' definition, I am neutral. That means he is treating economics as a positive economics only. And in normative economics, what I am saying, what ought to be. What ought to be. That means, see, I am producing knives and I am saying, please use it only for cutting or chopping the vegetables, but don't use it for harming some other person. That is, I am even saying what to do and what it ought to be. Okay, what it should be. So, it is a normative economics. Are you clear? See, if I am not saying anything, then it will be a positive economics. If I am passing any judgment, okay, if I am passing any value judgment, that means I am going with normative economics. So, according to Robbins' definition, economics is neutral between ends. Economics will not say anything. Okay. Excuse me. Sorry for the interruption. Okay. So, in Robbins' definition, then economics is neutral between ends. And you already know what is positive economics and what is normative economics. I am not passing any value judgments, then it is positive science. I am passing certain value judgments, that means normative economics. I am saying, what do you mean by value judgments? Okay, so I am saying something, I am saying this is not good, this is good. Okay, so I am passing some judgments, then it is known as normative economics. If I say what ought to be, how it should be, then it is known as normative economics. Okay, is this clear? Next, so you know what is the importance of scarcity definition, right? It is universally accepted definition, that is any society. Okay, it is applicable for any society in the same way, and it is neutral between ends, and they have included the major problem. Okay, what is want, how wants are unlimited and how resources are limited. So he considered everything in his definition. So it is very universally accepted definition. But there are certain criticisms in Robbins' definition. What are those criticisms? First one is, he has introduced welfare concept indirectly into the definition. Okay, Robbins said that welfare definition is not a perfect definition, but indirectly he has included welfare definition in his definition. Then criticisms in welfare definition will also be criticisms for Robbins' definition also. Am I right? If welfare definition has certain criticisms, Robbins also introduced indirectly in his definition welfare concepts. So, welfare definition criticisms are also applicable to Robbins' definitions, that is scarcity definitions criticism, right? Next, he has considered he said that economics is neutral between ends, that is, he is not saying whether it is good or bad. Then other economists are saying that who are you to say whether it is good or bad? Okay, so economic means it is totally dependent on human behavior. Then persons will at some times person may feel it is good and at some time person may feel it is bad. So it totally depends upon human behavior. Who are you to tell what is good and what is bad? So it is also a termed as a criticism in scarcity definition. Next, see, he is saying that it is very hard to differentiate what are wants and what are resources. We can't differentiate wants and resources. Okay, critics are saying that we can't separate resources and wants. Okay, ends and means. What are those? See, sometimes roughly what I do is I don't have any desire in my mind. Okay, I don't have any want. Simply I will earn salary. Okay, and my want is to earn more and more money. Okay, see clearly, sometimes I don't have any want to purchase a car or to purchase a house or to purchase some other thing. I don't have any clear idea. But what is my want? To earn money. That's it. Okay. What is my want here? To earn money. Now I have earned my money. Then here what is my want? Want is, that is my want is money. Right? Am I right? Be clear. See, sorry. Understand it? I want to earn my money. So this is my want. After some time, after earning money, then I want to purchase a car. Now, once it was my want. ఒకప్పుడు ఏమైందమ్మా అది నాకు want అయింది. But now, money becomes my resource and car will become my what? Want. So, money was once my want, but now money became a resource. So, it is very, very crucial, very, very difficult also to differentiate both my means and my ends. That is, my wants and my resources. Once upon a time, it was my want, but some other time, after some other time, it became my resource. So, it is also a criticism for Robbins' definition. Next, Robbins said that economics is only a positive science. But actually, economics is positive science and even it is normative science also. But he said economics is only positive science. But no, economics is positive science and even normative science. But he is saying it is only positive science. That is, he narrowed the scope of economics. అంటే తను economics definition ని చాలా చిన్నది చేశాడు. ఏంటి అంటే he included it only with positive science, but it should include normative science also. Economics scope is such a big one, but he considered it. He narrowed the scope by saying that economics is only a positive science. But so it is termed as a criticism in Robbins' definition. Next, in Robbins' definition, he was talking only about scarcity of resources. Scarcity of resources. He is saying that in economy, in the society, there are only scarcity. Resources are very scarce. Okay, but he is not talking about abundant resources. See, in certain areas, for example, in India, population is very more. Okay, so man is also a resource, right? Man is also a resource. Okay, so man is available in an abundance. In abundance అంటే చాలా ఎక్కువ మంది ఉన్నారు మనకి పీపుల్. బట్ హియర్ రిసోర్స్, ఇక్కడ మనకి రిసోర్స్ ఏంటి నాన్న? మ్యాన్ ఈజ్ ఆర్ రిసోర్స్. మ్యాన్ ఎప్పుడైనా తక్కువ ఉన్నారా ఇండియాలో? నో. బికాస్ ఆఫ్ ద హ్యూజ్ పాపులేషన్ వీ హ్యావ్ abundant resources. But in economics he is talking only about scarcity of resources. ఇక్కడ ఏంటి? మనకి కావలసిన దానికంటే ఎక్కువ మంది ఉన్నారు. We need, for example, only 110 crores of population. For example, I am saying, okay, I need only 110 crores of population. But in India there are 121 crores or some other thing. Okay, 130 crores of population. Okay, that means నాకు కావాల్సిన దానికంటే ఎక్కువ ఉన్నారు. So they are abundant. Okay, so he didn't talk about abundant resources and he was talking about only scarce resources. See, and he is talking only about scarce resources. But see, he should not concentrate on only scarce resources, but he should also talk about resources which how I should increase those resources. Okay, ఊరికే scarce resources అనే మాట్లాడుతున్నాడు, but he is not talking about the resources how we should develop those resources. Okay, So it is also termed as a criticism in Robbins' definition. Next, he is talking only about the present situation, but see, I have certain resources and I am producing certain goods, and those goods should be used now and even I should use in the future also. Okay, so కొన్ని resources తోని, with those limited resources I should use those resources now and I should use those resources, should keep these resources for future also. So he is talking only about present situation and he is not talking about future situation. So this is also termed as a drawback in Robbins' definition. Okay, so these are the criticisms of Robbins' definition. So again, a new person came with a new definition, that is growth definition given by Samuelson. Samuelson ఏం చెప్పారు నాన్న? Growth definition చెప్పారు. It was in the year 1917. Samuelson in his growth definition. Okay, growth definition was given by Samuelson. Samuelson in the year 1970 he gave growth definition. Actually, what is growth definition? In growth definition, he has included everything which Robbins has covered, and extra point is it was a dynamic definition because he not only considered all the features of Robbins, but he also took into the definition time element also. Time element also, that is, he didn't talk about only using of current resources only for the present time, but he also taught how we should produce the goods now and how I should use it for the future also. Okay, and he not only talked about resources, wants and so on, but he also included in his definition income, unemployment, poverty. So all these concepts he has included in his definition. So till date, growth definition is a perfect definition for economics. Okay, so everything is clear. I have dealt with 4 definitions, and in growth definition also we should include every definition of every point from Robbins' definition, and we should include time element plus other concepts such as income, output, unemployment, poverty. Okay, everything. Okay, so this is an end to all the definition. Now we shall meet